Hi there, Coach Latanya here. Welcome back to my channel, Elevate Wellness. I have over 20 years in the fitness and wellness space, and every day I help people online achieve their health and wellness goals through digital programs, products, and services. So today I want to share with you a quick tip that's going to help you get results from the walking workouts, okay? And so if you're interested in that, stay tuned. So we have what is called a training heart rate zone. For those of you who don't know, I have been a certified personal trainer for over 20 years. I have evolved into the wellness space, which means that I help to support you to walk along with as you develop, as you grow, as you mature, spiritually, mentally, and physically. So I do that through digital programs. I'm working on a membership site. So I am evolving. You will see my brand evolve as I evolve as well. I did a video very recently about my haul, and I shared a little bit about how my spiritual growth has transformed even the way that the clothes that I wear. So I think you would like that as well, because I think it's an interesting perspective. All right. So the reason why this is so important is because this will change as we get older. And it is important because I remember working in the big box gyms, the corporate gyms, the chain gyms, as we call it. And I would see people, and then a couple years later, it's like they're doing the same workout. And, we don't understand that as our bodies get older, it does not mean that we are no longer capable. It does not mean that whatsoever, okay? Because I've said this before, I have clients in their 70s and their 80s, and they're very much capable. But what it means is that there are certain benchmarks or numbers that we need to know in order to understand, are we where we need to be training wise, okay? And so that also relates to our cardiovascular. It also relates to the intensity of our exercise, all right? And so there is something called a training heart rate zone. And we have our higher level, which is our cardiovascular zone. That's going to get us more breathy. That's when you're running, right, there's a cadence to it or a rhythm to it. But we also have something where a fat burning zone, or zone 2, okay? Now the difference is the one is a little bit more intense than others, and the one that's more intense, that cardiovascular zone, is going to require a different type of fuel, okay? And that type of fuel many times is what we've eaten. This is where you will find, if you're going to go for a really intense workout, maybe go for a run or go for a nice heavy lift, you want to make sure that you are fueled, because if you're not fueled properly in that workout, you may feel lightheaded, you may feel nauseous, because your body's going to need that. Now, even when it comes to the interval training, right? I've trained people, and I love interval training, especially for fat loss, because it's that high and low that kind of goes into both storage tanks, and I like that. And so that's a very good way too. So the way we fuel our bodies is really going to be dependent upon how we train our bodies as well. And so that is important. This is why fat burning, or level 2, is important. Okay. And so there is a specific range that we need to be within, and that is determined by our age. Okay. And so there is a formula, and I'm going to do that formula with you. So I'm going to grab my phone to do that with you. Okay. So what you want to do, it's a very simple formula, but now this formula will change every year of life. Okay. So it's not going to change dramatically, but it will change over time. All right. So that formula is 220 minus your age. Okay, so 220 minus your age. Now I just turned 49, and so 220 minus 49 is 171. All right, so I'm going to take the sum of that, 171, and I am going to multiply it times I like to do 60. So I'm going to put 60. You can put 60, you can put 65. But I'm going to do 60. Okay. And that puts me at 102. All right. And then, so I have 102. And then I'm going to go back and do times 70%. And that is 119. 119.7. So I'm going to say 120. Okay. Now, what this means is if I am training in a zone from 102 to 120, I'm going to be at a place where I don't require food for energy, but fat, body fat for fuel. And so this is how I tap into my body fat burning potential. This is the key. This is a secret sauce. This is how I use body fat, stored body fat, belly fat. This is how you've seen me shed body fat. Okay. Now, when I do this, it doesn't require, I can do this and eat under my caloric deficit, right? Or eat within that caloric deficit. This has helped me tremendously because a lot of times what happens is when we reach over 35, right, the hormones start to shift. We talked about that before, right? The hormones start to shift. But what happens is when we are working out, 4, 5, 6 days a week, these intense workouts, we're doing the classes. And then from the classes, we jump on the treadmill. From the treadmill, we jump on these machines. And we're really working hard to get this weight off. And then we're doing the salads and we're cutting the calories and we're doing these diet products and all of the things, right? And then we start to see 2 pounds creep up. What is going on? Well, what's happening is we're inflamed. Our bodies are inflamed. And so the weight sometimes is water weight retention. Try to say that 3 times. Water weight retention. And so you can see 1 to 2 pounds creep up on the scale, but it does not necessarily mean true weight. Okay. It can be fluid retention. And I found that to be so for myself. Now, also, if you're working out that many days as well, you may not have the recovery piece in there that you need. And cortisol will be elevated. Now, when cortisol is elevated, that's when you start to see that belly fat. So not only do you see this water weight retention come on, or water weight come on the scale, but now you see this belly that now is bloated. And so why are all of these things happen? You don't even feel like you're losing weight. You feel like your clothes are even getting tighter, right? And so what you want to do is you want to tweak that a little bit. You want to tweak that plan a little bit so that you can bring that cortisol down. And this is why the walking workouts are so beneficial. Okay. The weight training is going to be very necessary as we get older. Very necessary because we want to build muscle. We want to make sure that although nature says that we decline with our muscle, the only way to prevent that is to really focus on building good quality muscle. Okay, so we need to do this by working out 2 to 3 days a week minimal. Okay, depending on your lifestyle. Everyone is different. We're at different stages of our lives, right? Your life may require more than what someone else's does. If you need help in this situation, I recommend going to latanyabaruch.com and book a wellness session with me. And together you and I can create a plan that is specific to your goals, your lifestyle, and your ability. Okay. And so I recommend at least 2 to 3 days a week with the weight training. Okay. And then I also recommend on those days getting in that cardiovascular, getting at that higher level, right? 20 minutes, 30 minutes. You don't need an hour, but 20 to 30 minutes of cardiovascular with the weight training. Okay. Now, when you're doing the cardiovascular, you want to work up from 70 to 80 to 85%. Okay. So you would take that same formula, but instead of plugging in 60 to 70, you want to plug in about 70, 75 to 80%. That will be your cardiovascular level. Now, as you develop, as you adjust to that, right? you can operate outside of that, but you want to make sure that if you are new to that, you want to stay within that frame. Women who are fit, who are conditioned, and who've been working out for quite some time, they're able to work outside of that zone a little bit, and they're fine with that, okay? But if you are new to it, I do not recommend. I recommend staying within that zone. If you are under the supervision of any doctor, I recommend speaking with your doctor first before doing any fitness programs, okay? So let's get back to the fat burning. So now we understand that the cortisol can be decreased, can be lowered through with the walking workouts, okay? The fat burning is also accessed from that level, that zone 2. Okay, so now how do we plug all of this in? We plug this in by, on your most intense days, you want to make sure that you are properly nourished. And what I mean by that is you want to make sure that if you're in a deficit, you want your deficit to not be as deep. Okay, so if you're cutting calories, 500 calories deficit, on that day where you're lifting heavier, you might want to play around with maybe 300 instead of 500 calories deficit, okay? Play around with that, track it, either journal it, put it on MyFitnessPal, because you may need that fuel. You also want to make sure that you're working up to that 70 to 80%, right, threshold for your cardiovascular. Then on those other days, that's what, 3 days left. The other 3 days, 2 to 3 days, you're getting those walking workouts in. And those will be about a 20 to 30 minute workout. You want to get those in, and you can actually drop the calories a little bit lower. Okay, so you can drop it down to maybe a 4 even. You have to play around with it because everyone is different. Okay, sometimes that 500 calorie deficit is a little too low, especially if you're active, if you're super active. Okay, you want to play around with it, and you want to figure out what you need. Okay, when you incorporate the exercise and the diet, you don't necessarily have to do a 500 calorie deficit because the activity is also burning calories. All right, so play around with it and journal it. Now on your day of rest, let's say you have 2 days of rest on the weekend, you may notice that Saturday you're still a little hungry because your metabolism may be up dependent upon the type of training that you participate in. But on that Sunday, you can do a 500 calorie deficit. Okay, so it'll vary a little bit day to day, but play around with it, take notes, and be consistent with the way the range, and then you'll have a better understanding of what your body needs in order to burn that body fat and build nice lean muscle. Okay, it is a process. Okay, now we hear in the weight loss industry that all you have to do is eat these foods, drink these teas. I cannot express to you enough that it's highly irresponsible to tell you to just drink some teas, take some take some teas, take a few pills and creams and things like that. That is not how we lose weight successfully. Yes, you may drop weight, but when you return back to the foods you were eating, the foods that you enjoy, you find that not only that weight comes back, but it comes back with a vengeance. And we've talked about this before, but I want to share this with you again. The reason why that weight comes back is because when we are not participating in resistance training, we have not built the muscle. We've not built that muscular tissue, right? And so what happens is we are metabolically reducing what we can tolerate, right? That means just by going on a diet and not weight training. Let me say that again. Just by not weight training and going on a diet, I cause my body to burn less. We have been conditioned to think, I don't need to work out to lose weight. All I have to do is. That's not lifestyle, okay? The tea, the drinks, the potion, whatever that thing is, that is very temporary if it works. Very temporary at best, okay? What we really want to do is we want lifestyle changes. That is something that you can maintain lifelong, right? The teas, the drinks, and all of those things, I hate those things. I hate them because they make us think that all I have to do is this, and then it's going to fix it, and then I'm done. It can mess with our blood sugar. It can mess with our confidence. It can make us feel as if it's never going to happen, or we can never really achieve successful weight loss. Those quick fixes don't work. They don't work. They don't work. They don't work. They don't work. Okay? They don't work. Anytime you are not moving your body, you're not participating in weight training, weight bearing exercises, you're not going to build muscle. The metabolism now has gotten slower. In addition to that, you're eating less, so that slows down the metabolism. You're not going to the restroom. Your excretory system is not functioning properly, which is connected to the metabolism. So now we know the metabolism is not functioning properly. And so what happens is it has to slow down to a point to keep you living, okay? And so you're not gonna, so when you go back to, so this is why when we go back to eating the foods we ate before, not only do we gain the weight, but we gain the weight back and then some, all right? So I wanted to keep this short and sweet. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you found this helpful and this is your first time, please go ahead, let me know, share in the comments. Please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that notification bell, so the next time I upload a video, you will be among the first to be notified. If you are a member here and you enjoy this content, please go ahead and share this with a few of your besties. Let's get more people elevating wellness in 2024. And share your comments. If you're a subscriber here, share your comments. Let me know what you took away from this video. I look forward to hearing from you with that as well. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Until next time, live beautiful.